My name is Jack Poon. I work from home in my parents' basement, just designing this game. I've been working on it since August 2014. I've been working on it full time. This is the first game I've ever made. My educational background's in mechanical engineering, so I used to work on 3D printers, which has been a huge help in rapidly prototyping this. After I left my job at MakerBot, 2 months later I had my first prototype and started testing from there. I primarily use SolidWorks to design everything. As far as balancing, I use Microsoft Word to keep track of all my changes. There's a lot of probability that goes into this, and then a lot of assigning weights and balance tables to create this matrix that balances all the stats on all the different characters. So every character has a unique ability, and then I value each ability differently, and then weigh each one differently, and then sum all of that up to figure out all the characters are balanced, and it's really how you use it to win the game. So everybody has an equal chance at the beginning of the game to win, but the winner is determined by who uses their ability to the best of their advantage to win. So this game is a dungeon crawler that's played in the dark. You have individual explorer characters that light up and then explore the maze. They never see the whole maze, instead they only illuminate what's in front of them. The monster player's goal is to hunt down all the explorers. The monster doesn't light up, instead the monster player is wearing night vision goggles and can see the whole maze. So the monster player will know when the explorers are walking into a dead end, which is the perfect time to ambush them.
I don't see any software here.
Okay.
You know, other than this type of software. What made you do something in the real world as opposed to using Unity or something like that?
Okay, so I don't have much experience in programming, and my main goal was to actually make something physical. Part of this was I just had the idea for a board game that was, it started off being very fear-based, where it's like explorers didn't actually start at an entrance, they would start in the middle of the maze, they got lost, and then they're supposed to work their way out. Gold wasn't even an issue they were looking for, they were only looking to escape. The game eventually, after lots of play testing, I found out worked much better as a strategy, where players, instead of being lost inside a maze, would choose to go into the maze, and how deep into the maze they would go, and then try and gather as much gold and get out of the maze. As for playing in the dark, it was something that's like get away from the computers, get really involved in like the atmosphere. One really interesting thing that I didn't anticipate with playing in the dark was that any distractions you have around you at home sort of blend in with the darkness, so all you see is the game, and then you have this natural innate fear of darkness. So while you're playing the game, you really feel that immersion in the dark, the same way your characters are just lost in the dark in the labyrinth.
You go from mechanical to game design.
So for me, it's like they're pretty much very similar, where it's like all of that's just product design. The difference being, it's like in mechanical engineering, everything was numbers. It's like, I gotta make something that prints at this speed, I gotta make something that can withstand this kind of pressure or this much stress. Game design is all about making an experience. You can't really quantify that, and it's pretty much a moving target for me. It's like some players who play my game play very competitively. It's like they don't team up at all, they start gunning for each other right off the bat. Then I have other players who play very cooperatively, and then they team up, they start working together, they never lie to each other, they never trick each other. And it's a real challenge to make a game that just is very fun for both, because once it's out of the box, it's in their hands. It's something that they put in what they want into the game, and then the game is sort of like this engine that puts out an experience.